So, UFC 296 Edwards vs Covington just took place, and I'm going to be going through the entire card, starting with the first prelim, ending with the main event, and giving my reaction and breakdown of every single fight on the card. It was a solid card. It started off really well, and it kind of did slow down a little bit, but I'm going to run through the whole card and react as well to everything that happened, as well as go over my picks at the end of the video. But we started off with Martin Buday versus Shamil Gaziev. Martin Buday is fat. Shamil Gaziev is fat, but Shamil Gaziev has skill, so he won this fight. He basically just put the leather on Martin Buday the whole time, busted him up with shots, put the pressure on him, cooked Buday up, got a takedown or something at one point, or got him to the ground, messed him up real bad, and then ended up getting a TKO in the second round, just blitzed him, and he was just covered up against the fence. It was the most kind of fat heavyweight TKO ever. Gaziev looks alright. I guess he's decent. Probably won't go that far at heavyweight, but he beat Buday, who's shit and fat and has nothing to offer. So I don't know why I picked Buday. I guess I got lured in by the fact he was a favourite. I thought maybe Gaziev was overrated because he was beating like regional opponents, but I guess regional opponents are better than Chris Barnett and Josh Parisian. So good stuff from Shamil Gaziev. The next fight on the card was Andre Fili versus Lucas Almeida. I picked Andre Fili to win this fight. I thought he was going to get a decision, but he got it done by KO in the first round. Crazy stuff. They were kind of feeling each other back and forth, just measuring range, and then at one point he just comes in, bang, lands a massive shot, puts him down, and then grounds and pounds to a finish. Great stuff from Andre Fili. Really good stuff. And an emotional, I guess, post-fight interview for him because he lost his dog, apparently. Israel Adesanya might have taken it. But the next fight on the card was Cody Durden versus Tagir Ulanbekov. Great win from Tagir Ulanbekov. I picked him to win by submission, and he got it done. He got a rear naked choke in the second round after a dominant first. He was close to getting a sub in the first round too. And then he got it done in the second, so really good stuff from him. His grappling was amazing, his wrestling was great, he got the takedowns. He basically did what he wanted. He was landing good jabs as well at range on the feet, so he did what he wanted with Cody Durden. Eventually in the second, got his back standing, got the rear naked choke. Durden kind of fell back because he was starting to go, and then he tapped out in the second round. So great win from Tagir Ulanbekov. The next fight on the card, Ariane Lipski versus Casey O'Neill. Great win from Ariane Lipski. I picked Casey O'Neill, but she's terrible at fighting, so that was my mistake. I apologise. I think most people picked Casey O'Neill though, but Lipski's actually leveled up. Her striking looked great. She was quick on the feet, touching up Casey O'Neill, and then she rocked her bad in the second round. They went to ground, and then she ends up getting an armbar and hyperextends and snaps Casey O'Neill's arm and then gets the tap afterwards. So Casey O'Neill managed to tap and snap at the same time, so good for her. But great win for Lipski. She looked way better than ever, and O'Neill looked shit, and I'm never picking her again. The next fight on the card, Cody Garbrandt versus Brian Kelleher. Cody looked great in this fight. Prime Cody looked back. He was amazing, super quick, super powerful, and he KO'd Brian Kelleher in the first round with a vicious shot. I'm going to be completely honest, I was riding my bike to my mate's house when this happened. Because I went over to my mate's house to watch this card, so I didn't see all of this fight, but I was watching it kind of like as I was riding my bike. But I saw Cody looked really quick. Kelleher was landing some great calf kicks, which were fucking up the leg of Cody Garbrandt, but eventually Garbrandt was just way quicker. He hurt him with some shots, and I think he landed a right hand, correct me if I'm wrong, but he put him down face first. Massive KO from Cody Garbrandt. The next fight on the card was Irene Aldana versus Karol Rosa. This was a fucking incredible fight. Fight of the night. One of the best fights of the year. These two just threw fucking punches at each other's face for the whole fight. First round wasn't amazing. Rosa was chewing her up with a leg kicks. It was solid. And then second and third, Aldana just started throwing hands and was just landing flush the whole time, piecing her up. Well, not piecing her up, but just beating the hell out of each other. It was a great fight. It's hard to remember anything that happened, honestly. Rosa was just landing massive leg kicks, Aldana landing big punches, and the look of, if you saw their faces at the end of the fight, it was incredible stuff. So, amazing fight. Rare women's MMA W. So, good job. Women's MMA actually delivered for once. And yeah, this was like meant to be the piss break of the card, but it ended up being great. So, good stuff from the two of them. Next fight on the card, Dustin Jacoby versus Alonzo Menifeild. Menifeild won this fight, unanimous 29-28 decision. The story of the fight was basically Jacoby being the way better fighter. Well, not way better, but the more technical fighter, the more skilled fighter. But then Menifeild would just land shots at the right time. He landed the big punches when he needed to, and that got him a win here. I think the first and then the third round, he landed... first round Jacoby won. He landed more strikes. He got the clinch control as well. But then in the second and third, Menifeild just landed a big shot in each of those rounds and put Jacoby down, and that's enough to get you the win. So good stuff for Menifeild. You know, he's a bit retarded. He's coached by Pat Barry, so he's a bit... Jacoby's clearly better, but he just kept getting cracked at the wrong moments. So I picked Jacoby to win. He was a pretty high confident pick, but fair play to Menifeild. He's actually refining his skills a little bit. Looks solid. He's obviously got that big power, but good stuff for Menifeild. We move on to the main card. Josh Emmett versus Bryce Mitchell. Josh Emmett knocked the flat earth out of Bryce Mitchell. He fucking KO'd the shit out of Bryce Mitchell. Literally killed a man. Like, Bryce Mitchell is potentially dead. Like, we're not sure. He might be dead. Sources are telling me Brett Okamoto is revealing that Bryce Mitchell is currently in a coma. Like, that guy got put so badly out. Emmett, it was kind of feeling each other out. Bryce looked really like iffy. Emmett was kind of winging some big shots, trying to land. And then Emmett just comes in with a massive overhand right and just lands it right on the face as Bryce was coming in too. So, terrible stuff. Put him out cold. And then he started convulsing afterwards. Like, he was like seizuring. That's going to be really tough for Bryce Mitchell. I think that could be a KO that might just put his chin in the bin. Like, he might be a guy that is just getting cracked and put out from now on. Brutal KO from Josh Emmett. Good stuff from him, though. After a 2-fight loss streak, a tough start to the year, he makes it back in the end to the short notice Mitchell. I told you guys, I called this fight. I called it perfectly. I said round 1 overhand right KO on my Instagram with my final prediction. So great stuff from Josh Emmett. I called it. I said Bryce would be too stiff on the feet. He's not going to take the shots well, and he wouldn't be strong enough to take Emmett down. He didn't even shoot, but I just knew the stand-up would not go well for me. He doesn't take punches all that well. He stiffens up a lot when he gets hit, and I knew that would be a really bad matchup for him. But we move on to the next fight, Tony Ferguson versus Paddy Pimblett. This one was tough. We all knew the reality of the situation. We all kind of knew that Tony was going to lose, but it still doesn't make it any easier of a pill to swallow. Paddy Pimblett doesn't look good in any way. He's not a good fighter, but he won 30-27. We knew he was going to win. He was just bigger. He hurt Tony with the shots. Tony was leaving his chin in the line of fire, getting cracked. It just wasn't... Like, you really had to put the emotions aside, and even though we all clearly wanted Tony to win, you just can't... You can't just think Prime Tony's going to magically come back after a 6-fight losing streak. Now 7 is tough. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. It's just a rough one to talk about. Dana even said post-fight he wants to see Tony retire. I'm glad that the UFC isn't going to keep trying to use Tony to build up younger fighters. Like, it honestly becomes morally incorrect to just keep using guys that are just going to get in there and get fucking badly hurt. He got dominated on top. Paddy was way too physically strong. But Paddy looked shit too. Even he was getting caught a couple times. Tony looked okay early on, but yeah, there was really no moment for Tony here in this fight. He was going for an armbar or something, like a sub. He had going for a guillotine at one point, but he never really looked like he was going to win this fight. But we move on. Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Stephen Thomspon. Shavkat got a submission finish in the second round, late in the second round, to remain undefeated, 18-0. With all finishes, it was a very impressive performance. Not the most action-packed. He kind of did a lot of clinch control. Wonderboy's takedown defense actually held up pretty well, so fair play to him. But Shavkat, man, his grappling's really good. Once he gets you down, he does work. He gets into your guard, he gets your back, and he gets the rear naked choke. That's what he does. He was kind of holding Wonderboy against the fence for a lot of this fight, but then eventually he did get him down at one point, and then once he's down, he's just going to do his work with you. He got to the rear naked choke. He almost had it early on, but Wonderboy fought it, and then later on in the fight, he kind of got flattened out, and he just had to tap. It is what it is. Great stuff from Shavkat Rakhmonov. I'd like to see them feed Colby Covington to him next. I want to see him smoke Colby after that embarrassing main event performance. We'll talk about that in a bit. But terrible performance from Colby. So I think you just run Bilal versus Leon, honestly. I know it's not an exhilarating fight. I know it's not like a crazy fight that everyone's looking forward to. But I think you can just run that in London, or in England, Manchester, wherever, just do it. And then from there, you can figure shit out. Then just do Shavkat versus Colby. Shavkat will smoke Colby. We know that'll happen. So run that fight. And yeah, Colby can just get fucking beat up and then he can piss off because I hate that man. But we move on to the next fight on the card. Alessandro Pantoja versus Brandon Royval. Great performance from Pantoja. Showcased the wrestling. Showcased the grappling. Won 50-45 on two scorecards. 49-46 on another. Great stuff. He looked a bit worrying at times later on in the fight. Did gas out. Royval's cardio actually held up really well. But I guess he wasn't expending all that much energy because he was sitting on top. So he was just laying on bottom the whole time. So he really wasn't working that much. But Pantoja was really holding him down there. And working for grappling position. So Pantoja actually expended more energy. And Royval looked like the fresher guy in the fifth. Was landing well on the feet. But Pantoja got the takedown. He did his work. Royval, there was no real crazy scrambles here like there was in the first fight. Pantoja was able to just secure position and dominate way easier than normal. People are going to criticize Pantoja for this. Fuck you guys. This was a great fight. It was super exciting in the first 2 rounds. And then Pantoja basically was like, I can fucking take this guy down and dominate him. Why am I not going to do that? He had close to a few sub attempts at a few moments. There was a bit of worry in the fifth. Royval was landing well, but apart from that, it was all Pantoja. Great stuff for him. Good post-fight interview too. People hating on him, suck my fucking dick. Shut up. Don't be hating on Pantoja, man. He's a cool guy. We like Pantoja. But the next fight on the card, the main event, Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington. Embarrassing performance from Colby Covington. He looked shit. He looked terrible. He looked awful. He looked shocking. He looked not good. I'm trying to think of more ways to say that he looked like a fucking bum. He did nothing the whole fucking fight. He got a takedown in the 5th round and that was fucking it. First 2 rounds he did literally zero. Just let Leon kick him in the leg a bunch of times. Leon was way quicker than him. Colby's like, oh what? I can't just throw blitzes at someone and have them cover up against the cage? Oh my god. What could I possibly do? It's like when Colby throws his fucking shitty combination with his winging punches, and you don't just go oh, cover up, let me just fucking get hit on the guard. Colby's like, oh shit, this guy's actually not respecting my little pitter-pat shots. So clearly Leon knew what he was doing. He held the range, he kicked the fuck out of Leon's legs. He even got a takedown at one point, honestly embarrassing for Colby. He can't talk anymore, he got taken down by Leon Edwards. You can't chat anymore. What do you need to say? What are you going to say? Post-fight, he's like, I still won. I didn't have a mark on me. Trump, president. You can't keep this fucking gimmick up and expect support. The whole crowd was booing him as well. It was amazing. I loved that. They turned on him. They were cheering him like a motherfucker when he came out. And then after that awful performance, they're like, fuck you, turned on him. Even Trump looked embarrassed. Trump left before he was done his speech. He was trying to rally up the supporters and go, come on, Trump, 2024, come back from hardships, all this shit. And I was like, not having it. Fuck you. Go suck a dick. They're just saying, not having it. Colby, shut the fuck up. He was like, I didn't have a mark on me. Take a look at your leg, buddy. You're not going to be able to walk tomorrow. Cut open on the face. He got embarrassed. Leon almost had a triangle in the 5th round. Ended up giving up bottom. I guess he was trying to go for a statement to end the fight, which would have been sick if he triangled or armbarred Colby Covington and made him tap. That would have been very satisfying. But in the end, Colby gets out, holds top position for the rest of the fight, for the rest of the 5th round, loses a boring decision. Easy for Leon. You can't really criticize him. He did what he needed to. Colby was shitting himself. He didn't want to get embarrassed. That's my theory. After that talk that he did at the press conference, I just think he didn't want to get embarrassed and end up on some when trash talking goes wrong compilation bullshit. So, great stuff from Leon Edwards. As I said, I think you just run Bilal. I wouldn't even hate to see it on a fight night. I know the UFC won't do that. They could do it in Saudi Arabia in March. I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. If they wanted to do Saudi Arabia in March title fight, that would be sick. And then do because El Bazi's fighting Moreno. Then do Hamza Co-Main maybe. Umar versus Sandhagen on there. That'll be a sick card. So, if they want to do it in London, do it in London or England. If they want to do it Saudi, do it in Saudi. If they want to do it elsewhere, do it there. But I think they might just feed Shavkat to Colby. I know Colby probably won't take that. They might do Shavkat versus Usman is something they might do. But I think Shavkat either waits or he fights one more time. Just because I know he got a sub over Wonderboy, but he was like minus 600 expected to beat Wonderboy. So I don't know how much the UFC is going to be like, yes. I guess they don't like Bilal, so they might just want to get Shavkat in there. But I don't think Shavkat's that much of a pay-per-view draw right now. I think if he gets a win over Usman, that's really going to do him wonders. Or Colby. I'd prefer to see Colby, but I know Colby ain't going to fucking want that smoke. He's going to talk his little shit on his interviews, and he would not want to face Shavkat in the ring. So, fuck Colby. Piece of shit. Bum. Couldn't back up the talk. Fought like a bitch. Didn't throw shots ever. Got like 2 takedowns. Got taken down by Leon. Leon took your back. Like, you fucking suck. So, Colby, suck a chode. Get Trump's cock out your mouth. You can't just use Trump as a fucking base for your whole career and your persona. So shut the fuck up, Colby. But overall, solid card. As I said, it kind of slowed down after the Emmett KO. It's like that's too brutal. We can't have someone else die. So Tony kind of just got like mushed for 3 rounds. Then Shavkat, Wonderboy wasn't that entertaining. And then Pantoja was actually solid. And then, but like 2 5-round co-main events that went, 2 5-round title fights that went the distance. Like, it really did slow down. But the prelims were great. Buday, so Gaziev TKO, Fili KO, Tagir sub, Lipski sub, Kelleher got KO'd, Aldana Rosa was sick. The prelims were great. There was no bad fight on the prelims. And then it's like the first, 8 fights? Yeah, the first 8 fights were incredible. And then we kind of dropped off a cliff. So, great stuff though. Good card. I'd give it like a 7, 8 out of 10. Good stuff from Leon. Did what he had to. Good stuff from Pantoja. Good stuff from Emmett as well. All the other guys that got wins. And I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be fight announcements because Dana just dropped a bunch of them. Peace out.